It's time to rethink LinkedIn. If you want to learn about your SSI score and how to get better on the platform, create targets, suspects, prospects, this is how you do it. Let's go. You need to know what your SSI score is. That is everything we're going to be talking about today. So I'm going to give you a link to find out what your SSI score is on LinkedIn. The reason why we're doing this little recap here is to put a signpost in the sand so you know kind of what your number is and you can start to work on the LinkedIn platform with a little more strategy around how you're coming at the platform. In the last 3-4 weeks, we have where we rank, okay? I don't care what your score is, except for it should get better, all right? So let's be clear on that. Your own individual score means nothing to anybody else in the room unless Phil was in the room, and mine better be better than his. Aside from that, what we're trying to do is just figure out how we can increase that score. And this is not directly correlating to your money in, money out. It's how you're approaching the platform and teaching you, if you want to be on the platform, how to be better on the platform, okay? So the idea here is looking at this from your team rank. You guys probably don't have this. I'm not associated with anybody else on LinkedIn in my navigator instance. So if I paid for one enterprise level, I would have a team of people. Industry is going to be, you're going to find your industry right down here. If you don't have navigator, I don't know that you have people in your team. So these might be horizontal on that SSI score. So Hillary found out last week that it's a different view for people that only have these two. Okay. Either way, you're looking for people in your industry to find out what your industry is. This is listed in your profile. So if you go to the first pencil in your profile to change it, if you scroll down a little bit, it's like the 5th, 6th, 7th line where you can change industry. Okay. The concept here is to just try to increase the score. And what we've been focused on is the 4 components. Full disclosure, before we started this, I had no idea how to affect them individually. All right. I know that this little question mark here gives you a little synopsis of how you can do it, or like what the meaning is or theory behind it. On each one of these, gone into our SSI scores, and we've looked at who visits the H7 Facebook group regularly. Show of hands. All right. You guys are missing out on some information. I put out a document on the H7 Facebook group that is really, really powerful, and I'm gonna see if I can find it real quick. Everything that we talked about last week is covered in this document. I stumbled on it somehow. Like I was probably talking about something in LinkedIn Messenger.
Is it the algorithm document? Is that the one?
What's that?
Is it called the algorithm? It's right
yeah,
there.
The algorithm.
It's in the right there where it says recent files. Don't go look for your post. It's right. Go back up. Scroll down. It's on the right hand side, right there where it says recent files. You can click right there.
I love smart people.
Did you happen to post it in the H7 LinkedIn group as well?
I did not put that in a LinkedIn group yet, and I don't know if this is going to work or not. All right, check the chat and see if that worked. This document covers exactly what we've been talking about. It's crazy. It covers hashtags. We went over hashtags on LinkedIn, right? And talked about audiences in our posts. It covers ways to create personal hashtags. It talks about some of the algorithms measures, okay? And what we talked about, like a lot of people came in this room early on and like didn't believe that there was an algorithm. Like it was magical how everyone communicates. This talks about dwell time, which you'll learn about, getting more reach, your SSI score, your profile strength, size of your network, and then it gets into the individual line items that are in the SSI score. So how to improve your SSI score. And I wanted to get to...
And we should state the fact this is not Mark's document. This is one he found and is sharing that someone else wrote.
Yep, that's right, 100%. So what I wanted to do was kind of give you guys a document that was outside of the normal scope of things and let you know that like some of the things that we've talked about over the course of the last few weeks are getting observed by other people that are studying it in different ways. This guy actually did some like testing around changes in the algorithm from 2000 to 2021 that were really, really cool when I read on it. If you're not going in the Facebook group or not going in the LinkedIn H7 group, you're missing out on some information. Let's get into it. So somebody tell me about establish your professional brand and some of the story that we went through 2 weeks ago or last week if you were here.
Then we talk about the hashtags that you follow and making sure that you're following the ones that are congruent with your industry. Is that
right.
others in your network would be on as well?
Yep, that's right. So the story, first person testing with that is Diana had 6 followed hashtags. That's all she had was 6 followed hashtags. Diana was in a different industry than she's in now, which was finance. She's in, we'll call it IT or information technology. Her hashtags were not congruent with her current industry. Okay. She went and she stopped following some of the old hashtags, and it actually dropped her score 6 or 7 points, right?
6 points.
6 points in this category only. So your followed hashtags are really, really important. And you find out which hashtags you're following by your last little box, little section in your top page on your LinkedIn profile. Okay. Followed hashtags, it's going to expand out, and you can see I'm following 52 right now. The impact of 6 hashtags going down to 4 hashtags or 3 hashtags is going to be pretty important. These are real things. Like, I know when we're just doing this, you're like, oh, I want to follow this hashtag. Hashtag strawberry ice cream is the best. That doesn't make any sense against what your profile or industry is. So you want to be conscious of what you're doing to align yourself with who you are on LinkedIn. Okay. The idea here is you got to think of LinkedIn as a robot. Okay. When a robot sees your face, it can pull out different things, but it's not going to know your name unless you tell it your name. You got to tell it your name. You got to tell it little characteristics about yourself that's going to help it connect you with other people that have those same characteristics or same interests. Okay. So when you got a picture of an ice cream in your feed, the robot doesn't know that there's ice cream in that picture unless you say there's ice cream in this picture. And then down the road, when somebody types in people with ice cream in their pictures, the robot's going to be like, oh, we got some of those. Clayton told me that he had ice cream in his picture. So person that searched ice cream in picture got connected with person that has ice cream in picture. Make sense? This is the same thing categorically on YouTube. It's the same thing categorically on Facebook. It's all the same, that robot that's behind the scenes. They're different robots. It's not Skynet out there running the world. Facebook's robot is different than LinkedIn's, is different than YouTube's, is different than Google's. Make sense? Okay, Arthur, were you gonna ask a question?
Yeah, I was gonna ask questions. So I got rid of a couple hashtags. I did what Diana did, and I dropped as well in my score in that exact place. So I'm trying to like comprehend like what the goal is, right? So I took off some of the ones that I weren't completely congruent, and I dropped. So should I go and find a bunch and increase my score? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I see what you're saying, but at the same time, the results aren't. If our goal is to have an increased SSI score, then we shouldn't be deleting any hashtags.
No, that's not necessarily true. The goal would be to have a good SSI score that's related to who you are as a professional.
Right.
So if you've got a bunch of watered down hashtags that aren't associated with your industry or like are just random stuff, your score is going to drop based on what you've done. So you should go and pick up some hashtags that are associated with what you want to do and start following those hashtags, establish your professional brand, and then engage with insights is going to follow, because the articles that are getting embedded in your feed now are something that you can share and you can show to other people that are in your industry.
Engage on. Right. Okay.
And you've got to kind of think about it too, when you have those hashtags that really don't have anything to do, but they have a huge following. So if I love pink ice or your strawberry ice cream has 500,000 followers and you follow that, you've increased your score, but it's not for the reasons you want. It's kind of falsely inflated. And so by getting rid of ones that have nothing to do with what you do, you're really putting your score back to where it should be relevant to the category you're in and the people who do what you do.
So I think this is actually going to be an interesting observation because it kind of kicks off some of the other categories. Identify better prospects in less time with efficient search and research tools. So find the right people. I'm not really sure how to affect this score like we did with the first one. Like we really did that hashtag discovery from this group. I'm not really sure what this means. It seems to me like if you're connecting with people, if you reach out to connect with 10 people and 9 of them connect with you, this score should be pretty high, I would think. That's the way that I see it, right? And your guess is as good as mine when it comes to this. I know that there's a big difference between Suresh's total score and my total score, but his is really similar, I think, is on find the right people, right, Suresh? You're muted too, by the way.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. So fundamentally, our behaviors on the platform are seen as congruent, like they're pretty similar in that regard, but his major one is engage with insights. I know that, right? You want to go up and engaging with insights. This is another one where it's like, how do we really affect this? Discover and share conversation worthy updates to create and grow relationships. It seems to me that this would be the like and comment rules that we talk about. Now, I don't do a lot of that liking and commenting. I don't ask for a lot of it, and I don't try to do the pod thing and get people to really put attention on me. I get my attention from doing LinkedIn messaging all the time. Like that's my preferred method of communication. So I think this one right here, if I put out like who's all connected to Nick Smith, all right? If you're not connected to Nick Smith, he should be the standard of an influencer on the rise right now for you. Nick Smith in H7 is doing everything that you should do to the T to make his life exponentially better on the LinkedIn platform. And I bet you in 1 year's time, he is having conversations on podcasts about how he's a LinkedIn influencer now. He's hook, story, offer every single one of his posts. He's drawing engagement with the subject matter that's there. He's using 3 hashtags in every single post. He's coming back, liking his own post, commenting on his own post, and he's tagging his third audience in there with the relevant people that the message should go to. Okay? He is the example of the way that you can operate on LinkedIn and be successful today. This isn't in a perpetuity because it changes. But as of right now, he is doing exactly what he should be doing. So if you're not following him, Nick Reed Smith is in H7. You should do a one-to-one with him. He's the best person to know in H7 besides Clay Hicks, in my opinion. Okay. All right. So as far as moving down this list, we're starting to get into the conversations around engage with insights. And I kind of want to use Nick as an example of what he's doing that is going to help him get up in that category. And it'll be interesting when I ask him about that category, how he's doing, because I bet you he's in the mid-20s somewhere. I bet he's doing a really good job there. So I'm going to go to Nick Reed Smith. Suresh.
As soon as I heard it, I was like, that's Suresh.
Yep. All right, so let's dissect some of Nick's posts here. If you want to connect with him, he's awesome. I'll put it in here. He doesn't pay me to do this in any way, shape, or form. He's just a good person, and he's one of my people, so I try to bring him to light when I can. Nick's in technology. He is someone that works for a company that does development work, kind of on the enterprise level. And the posts that he's been putting up, how could I have been so wrong? I got to know what he did. I got to know. I want to know. I don't care. If I saw that come up and it was any one of you guys, I'd want to know. It's going to make me bite. That little worm looks real, real juicy. I'm going to go up there and get hooked. Right? That is the hook. We've talked about this before. It's not my methodology. It's somebody called Russell Brunson. He does ClickFunnels, but hook, story, offer. That's what we're going for here, right? So the concept is the hook. Get something that somebody's going to do this right here. See more. The act of pushing that button is an enormous measurement on the LinkedIn platform. I'm learning more and more how big this activity of clicking see more is. LinkedIn puts a ton of weight on this little thing right here. So what you want to do is put a hook in here and add some relevant information under that post. Okay. And if you're just adding garbage that's 1 and 2 lines, you would be mistaken. You want dwell time. And I learned that from this document right here. That's that dwell time thing on that post. Okay. Remember what we're doing, engage with insights. That's what we're talking about categorically. Okay. So the concept here is Nick put in a hook to get me to click that learn more button. This is human nature. It's the story of everybody on the platform that's going to read stuff that's going to engage them. None of you know you think this way, but I'm telling you, you all do. If somebody puts something up here that's intriguing, you're going to click the learn more button almost every time, especially if it's from someone you know that you're connected to. So if I do this and you're on LinkedIn regularly, you're likely going to click that button. If you do this for your audience, they will click the button. Suresh, this I believe is how we increase engage with insights, because if this impacts me and I come down here and I hit like and do a comment, it's going to be something I've engaged with where the insights can measure what happened to the post. Okay. He did, it looks like a little poll here. I can't get into this right now because I'm dissecting the post, but not only did he provide a good hook for you that gets you interested, he also gives you some thought-provoking text down here. He tells you a story of something he experienced. Full disclosure, Nick's probably going to write a book within the next 2 years. Full disclosure, he's probably going to use many of the posts that he puts up as content for that book. Let that resonate for a second now that you are starting to think of LinkedIn in a different way. He's writing notes to himself for the future because this is everlasting. Okay. So the information that he's putting in here is going to be content worthy for a later activity. He's going to come back to it to remember this. I bet you this story is something he doesn't think about for a long time until he comes back to it and he's like, I want to write a chapter on stuff that I've done on LinkedIn. So he runs down the story and then please help. He's asking you to do something here. This is a call to action. Hook, story, offer. The offer at the end is going to be to engage with him. This is not an offer like I got a 99-cent thing, buy it from me. That's not the type of offer we're talking about. We're talking about a call to action offer. Inside Rethink Revenue, we talk about this often. Exchange information for information. Offer somebody something that has value so they give you something of equal value in exchange for that information. You give somebody, a white paper that they find valuable, they have to give you you have to give an email address to get the white paper. That's what he's doing here, except for he's asking you to comment. So this is a micro level marketing engagement. He's asking you to help. He's asking you to do a poll. He's asking you to like and comment. He's trying to get insights. He's trying to register with insights. Does that make sense? Suresh, can you see how you could take an actionable item away from this and
different. Yeah.
Activate it? Now, telling the story, he's got a skill set, and not all of us have this. He's got a skill set to tell a story. So how you do this is your own style. You don't have to copy the way he does it. Like, you might come up with something totally different. I do it a bunch of different ways. And most of mine is just
put your personality into it.
Yeah, 100%. Or develop one if you don't have one. Right? This is where you can really start to come into your own. You can take that introverted perspective, Clayton, that you talk about, and you can project it down on something that's a written word, and it can help you build into something else. I do it with testing. I don't even think about posts as posts. I test ad copy here. My insights are directly related to stuff that I put out in other platforms. If somebody engages with me and I get a bunch of comments on it, I know there's interest on that topic, so I'll project it elsewhere. It's a micro test. It's a micro split test is what I do with it. Sometimes I'll put one out. I'll put out the same one over and over again over the course of months. Like, I don't know how many of you guys have seen that Touchstone podcast. I've posted that probably 3 or 4 times. The reason why is I got pissed, and most of my stories start here. I went and saw that other people had seen other people's videos for Touchstone more than mine. I was like, nah, that's not happening. I'm jumping that guy up. I want to stay above a couple people that are on there. So literally I'm testing to see what the reaction would be and to see if I can get views on that video. All right, so full circle, we're talking about your SSI score. We're not saying this is going to make you more money. We're saying if you're going to focus on the LinkedIn platform, be purposeful. Okay, this will get you introduced to people. It's not who you know, but how you know them. It's in my book. I write about this. How you know somebody's really important. You got to meet them first, though. Okay, the concept here is to start to understand what will affect the platform and then get you notoriety to move up your influence. Be purposeful on the platform. If you're spending 15 minutes a day on it, don't do it randomly. Be purposeful. So hopefully that helps you figure out your SSI score, your social selling index, gives you some ideas about hashtags, offers you a perspective about a strategic approach on LinkedIn. For more on this, come to Tech Corner Thursdays at 11. You can find my Zoom link on the H7 virtual calendar. I appreciate your time, attention, and effort. Good fortune.